welcome to our July webinar. This month we're going to be talking about earning what you deserve. So a lot of our program is based around Phoenix and how it can help you, how our support team can help you to earn more money, but basically how you can start your own business and earn more than you have before in an agency. A little bit of a different format this month. Everyone will be joining us over the course of the show. We'll have Jenny on later who will be introducing you to Tom, who's one of our TC Care members, to talk you through some comparisons of booking with Phoenix versus booking with some of the other suppliers that you would be used to booking with. And we'll also have Kat join us, who's interviewing one of our gold TCs, Matt Schmitz, a little bit later on. But as always, we like to start with some fast facts for those of you who haven't seen our webinars before and that don't know a lot about Travel Counsellors. So Travel Counsellors operate in 7 countries around the world, and we currently have 1,090 Travel Counsellors operating out of our UK offices, 183 across our Belgium and Netherlands operations. In South Africa we have 147, in Ireland currently 71 Travel Counsellors, in Dubai 49, and of course here in Australia, looked after from our Melbourne office, 144 agents. Some fast facts about who Travel Counsellors are, and to get to know us a little bit better, I guess. We were established in 1994 in Bolton, England, by a gentleman by the name of David Speakman, and until recently David and his family owned the entire business. Last year we turned over $900 million in sales. We currently have 1,684 Travel Counsellors around the world in all of those countries that I mentioned previously. We have over 350 head office support staff to help our agents run their business. We are the only company in the world to have won 2 Queen's Awards for Enterprise. Now to Australians that may or may not mean a lot, but it's a very prestigious award in Europe that is actually awarded by the Queen. You go to Buckingham Palace to receive the award, and it's given in honour of businesses who have entrepreneurship and are building the business and helping the country's economy grow as well. So very prestigious awards, and we are very, very proud to have won that award twice. Our NPS score, which for those of you who don't know is a measure of customer service satisfaction, is at 96%. Now that is the highest accredited NPS score in the world of any company, so something that we're very, very proud of, and something that our agents are very, very proud of as well. 97% of our current agents wouldn't return to their previous jobs, and 96% rate their job satisfaction as high or very high. So just for those of you who haven't seen us before, that's just a little bit of an insight, a very little insight into the business, where we came from, and some very important facts about who we are. We are going to jump to an interview with Jenny and Tom very soon, but whilst we just set up the studio to do that, we're just going to play a little bit of a piece from one of our Travel Counsellors, Suzanne in Brisbane, where she's talking about how she uses the support from the office to make sure that she's earning the most that she can.
There's a lot of talk in the industry about how the internet is taking over and it's harder to make a dollar in this industry. Well, I'm actually not feeling that. I feel that it's so easy for me to step outside of that and feel different to everything else, because the tools that I'm given from Travel Counsellors, like Phoenix in my contact centre, make it easier for me to be different and to stand out, and for that not to affect me. The reason why I find that being a travel counsellor makes it easy for me to stand out from the internet is because of the relationship that I'm able to build with my clients. It's not about anything but how I relate to them and how they relate to me. We get to know our clients, we make it unique and we make it individual, and the internet just can't do that.
Good evening everybody and welcome back. Thanks to Suzanne for that short clip. So like Veronica said, we've got Tom in the studio with us today. Tom is part of the TC Care team, and we thought it'd be great to get his perspective on how the support team help our travel counsellors with their day-to-day business. But I suppose first of all, Tom, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so I've been with Travel Counsellors for almost about the same amount of time as you, so 3 or 4 months. Spent the year before that travelling, but before that I was working on a retail agency still with Flight Centre. Firstly in Carlton, Lygon Street, and then up in Preston, so North Plaza, the shopping centre out there. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And you're part of the TC Care team, and that involves a lot of different departments. Could you just give us an overview of the different departments in the team and the role they play with travel counsellors?
Yeah, absolutely. So TC Care, I guess, basically, as you probably put together, is there to care for the TCs. We run everything from, we've got the accounts guys, so that's your financiary, payments, that type of thing. We've got a dedicated couple of people on air, so that's myself and Dean. And then also the land-based guys. So pretty much any part of travelling, anything you need, anything you need help with, we've got it covered.
Fantastic. And I think it's really important to mention as well that all the people on TC Care do come from a travel background, so they completely understand what travellers are going through, the journey that they're having to deal with, and how you help them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think basically everyone in TC Care now has come from a retail travel background. So we know exactly what it's like to be dealing with customers, what you're looking for, the service you're trying to provide them, and most importantly, I guess, the support to help you when something has gone wrong.
Yeah, it's really important to have that support when you are in your own business as well, I think so.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. And I think it's a really valuable resource, and we do always encourage our travel counsellors to use that. It is part of the service that we offer, and I think it's a very busy team and a very friendly team, and it's just about getting involved and helping everyone within the company as well, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. So I guess we speak with the TCs, well, obviously daily.
Yeah.
Some TCs call a lot, others not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we're there to support them, help them out, have a bit of a chat with them when we get the opportunity. But for the most part, yeah, we just help them out if they've got any issues, whether it be with Phoenix itself or whether it's a problem with the supplier or anything like that. So even just if they just want some advice on something.
Yeah, so we just call for a chat.
That's it, pretty much.
There, yeah.
Absolutely.
And the big thing that we wanted to explain, I suppose, is Phoenix, which is our in-house wholesale booking system that we use here. And what Phoenix really does is consolidate all the components, such as flights, air, accommodation, anything that you can book within travel. It consolidates it all into one system, which allows you then to control your margin. It allows you to cut out the middleman, essentially. And Phoenix is a large part that we use to book our travel with as well, and that's where the Phoenix help team come in and really help explain how that works. I suppose Tom's going to show a slide now and show you sort of different comparisons with what Phoenix does for travel counsellors and how that works.
Correct. So with Phoenix, I guess all the products that are loaded in there's been a rate negotiated between travel counsellors and the provider that's providing them. What that means for an agent is firstly they're going to get the best price that they can get for those properties, those flights, those transfers, those day tours, whatever's going on there. It also makes it easy for the TC to manage because they're not always interacting with a middleman or someone in between them and the property. So it just makes it a lot more streamlined, a lot easier to deal with. And at the same time actually gives them a better margin, it gives them a better percentage on commission. So it's win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to run through the slides and show the comparisons, Tom, and give everybody a good understanding?
So what I've done here is I've just taken a few, I guess, pretty standard bookings that we encounter quite a bit. So myself as an agent, what we see from the TCs, and just run up, I guess, a price comparison between someone books through Calypso, so Qantas Holidays, Rosie's Holidays, Freestyle Holidays, those type of things. And just grabbed some pretty basic packages and what they charge, the commission that they then pay, compared to what a TC would access directly through Phoenix. So first one here, 7 nights at the Centara Coron in Phuket. This one you can see $590 is the basic room rate there. But what you see from the Phoenix price is that extra commission. So that's over $100 extra just on 7 nights accommodation. Down the bottom of the screen what we've got is just a display of a commission split. So with travel counsellors it goes 60-40. So the consultant keeps 60%, 40% comes to travel counsellors. And what you can see straight away is that even though you are getting a lower commission amount, because you're earning a higher commission, at the end of the day you're keeping more in your pocket. Second one, Royal Beach Seminyak in Bali, once again 7 nights. That's over double the commission right there. So that's really straightforward, really simple, and you're just making more money for your work. Oh, there we go again. Now we're starting to get into, I guess, flight packages. So what you're going to see here, once again, it's just a massive difference. You're looking at over double the amount of commission for the same amount of work. But what the TCs will find here is that if they're booking everything through Phoenix, they don't have to speak to multiple suppliers. They don't have to speak with Qantas and book the flights and then go to a supplier for the hotel. It's all in there, it's all one booking. So it's really easy to manage and the commission speaks for itself. And I guess as we go into the bigger bookings, like larger files and everything like that, it really starts to separate itself, where Phoenix is of such a benefit to, I guess, the consultant, and it is all in-house, and it's all there ready to go. So I guess this is the big one that I put together yesterday. Saltland, it's the Palm. Dubai is a really good one for us. We get incredible rates throughout Dubai. And that one there is massive. So that's a 7-night package with flights, just under $2,000 commission. So that's just ridiculous. And then the fact that the consultant gets to take home $1,200 for that, yeah, it's a steal. And so yeah, that was that.
That's fantastic, and it's really interesting to see those comparisons. And I think, coming from an agency background as well, how important is it to have a system that allows you to really control your margin?
I guess not having ever used it as a retail agent, I can comfortably say that it's just so easy to use. Like, it's such a user-friendly interface. Everything you need's in there.
Yeah.
And then having that ability to, I guess, sell that and then control the margin as you please is so good. You're not really having to, I guess, not bow down. You're not subject to like the margin that you're being told to sold at.
Yeah.
It's completely up to you.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well that we are a global company and we do have that buying power, so we can get really good contracted rates as well that go into Phoenix, which just even elevates, more how you can control your business and that value to it as well. So I think that's a very good point to make.
Absolutely.
Well. Fantastic.
Really?
Well, Tom, that's everything. Thank you so much. I hope
Thank
that's
you.
given everybody just an overview of the support team of Phoenix, and also how you really can control your margin and earn what you're worth. We're going to shoot to a video very shortly, which is Kat and Matt. Matt Schmitz is one of our Gold Travel Counsellors, and he's just going to give you an insight into his background and how he's progressed with Travel Counsellors and how much he depends on the support team and how much they mean to his business as well.
So we are joined remotely via Skype by Matt, who runs his business out of Churchill in Victoria. Matt is a brilliant example of what the Travel Counsellors franchise can do, and is one of the best examples within the company. It's absolutely no surprise to me that Matt was the winner of the Best Leisure Award this year, and also the highest TC score at our 10-year anniversary conference, which was held last month in Melbourne. To give that a bit of context, the TC score is an independent voting system where Matt's customers have reviewed his experience with them, and is based on, I suppose, Matt's level of service. And he's currently sitting at 99%, which is just incredible, up from 98% last year. So he's just smashing it. So we thought we'd invite Matt along today to have a chat to you about earning what you're worth, because I think that's twofold, and Matt's, as I mentioned before, doing a fantastic job of that in terms of utilising the head office support and using that to enable him to sell travel, which is what he does fantastically, and deliver the level of service that he does. But also, I suppose, in terms of building a successful business, for those who don't know, Churchill is certainly a regional area, and that in itself offers, presents some challenges as well. So look, thanks Matt for joining us today. There he is. Hi. Fantastic. Awesome. Look, and so as I said, thank you so much for coming on board today and setting aside some time to interview with us. It's no secret, I suppose, in terms of the travel industry, that it can be some incredibly long hours, as well as some low pay, I suppose, if you're not necessarily hitting certain targets within your company that you're working for. You're clearly doing an absolutely amazing job, and I wanted to have a chat to you about, I suppose, your experience with Travel Counsellors and how that's come together in a way that's allowed you to earn and what you're worth and have a lifestyle that you were wanting to have as well. So, but firstly, for everyone who doesn't know you, can you give me a little bit of an idea of your background and sort of where you came from before you were working with Travel Counsellors?
Okay, so I started, after Year 12, I actually studied 2 years at TAFE. I did a diploma course in tourism it was a full-time course for 2 years. Yeah. After that, I moved over to the Netherlands and worked in Holland it was kind of a skiing, surfing travel agent over there. And then moved back to Australia, worked for a local company for about 4 years. Or 4 or 5 years, and then back in 2012 I decided to take the leap and didn't take a database with me or anything like that, and joined Travel Counsellors, which has been by far the best move me and my family's ever made. So.
Fantastic. So what was it that made you kind of decide it was time to make that jump?
A few things. I kept getting these calls from people because we used to close at 5:30 at night, and used to get these calls all the time. Oh, can you just stay open a little bit later, or I can't actually make it. So often I would, and I was on a wage. I didn't work for commissions at all. So I would find myself going home, having tea with the family, then going back into work that night, working for nothing essentially because I was paid from 9 till 5:30, and then going back and working and putting money into the owner's pocket, I suppose, where I thought, well, I could be doing this for myself. And that's when the alarm bell started ringing. And as I said, when I left, I never took any names, phone numbers. I thought that was very unethical. And then I did start advertising, and then the business started coming in.
Coming in from there, fantastic. And when you were having a look at the different models available, what was it that made you, I suppose, jump aboard with Travel Counsellors?
Well, one of my friends was actually a travel counsellor as well, and so that helped. So I liked the level of support that we were offered as well. I know everybody talks about the 40-60 split. It's kind of the thing that everybody talks about. That didn't even come into the equation really for me. I just really enjoyed. While I went into, got to meet everybody at head office, and really liked the support network. And especially, probably the main thing was being international as well. Having that 24/7 support. That really helped.
Yeah, and that's a key thing that I had a chat with you. Matt and I caught up about a month or so ago now. I went down and spent the day with Matt in his amazing home office he's got down there. It's absolutely incredible. And I really enjoyed having a chat with you about, I suppose, that journey from when you first came on board to where you are now, and how you are utilising the head office support, because when you're first starting up, and like you said, you didn't come with a database, that support in terms of brainstorming for business development can be really helpful. But then I suppose you've flipped that around, and you're just on the phones to us constantly, which is just brilliant. You're really using the model the way that it's meant to be utilised, and I guess that's showing in the results that you've got there. Can you chat to me a little bit about how you've changed the way that you've approached head office support, and how that journey's kind of gone for you?
Yeah, so at the start it was very much BD orientated, I suppose, just trying to get my name out there, getting ideas, and trying to work out what I was, like how to run a business as well, because I'd only ever been a travel agent. I'd never run my own business. So I was on the phone to them constantly, trying to work out what to do next, coming up with different ideas, which my BDs, some loved it, some didn't like some of my ideas. But yeah, I tried anything that I thought would work. Sometimes I got a couple of knockbacks from BD, but I just did it anyway. Sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yep.
But then since then, it's very much been like, I don't talk to BD as much now that I'm more established. I still do have regular meetings, probably once a month or so. And if I do have any questions, I'll call them. But now my main support is TC Care now, I suppose, and accounts, and between those two, I definitely get value for money.
Yeah.
And also at the after hours as well. After hours, being able to, as we all know, it's not a 9 till 5. Being able to contact the UK at stupid o'clock in the morning or whatever is really handy.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of a hypothetical question. How do you think your business would look if you didn't have that head office support?
I don't think I would be here, to be honest. I don't think I'd be talking to you now.
Yeah.
I think I would have looked for another job.
Yeah. And I suppose in terms of the departments there, you mentioned accounts and TC Care and that kind of thing. What sort of stuff do you give them a call about? What are you chatting to them about on a daily basis? Can you give me some examples of how they're helping you out? Yeah.
Yeah, I might be calling Dean just to find out how I deal with my man cold or something like that. It's all different things, and it ranges. Basically, I use head office as if they were sitting beside me. That's how I look at it. I look at it as they're as much as they're not physically there, they are a colleague of mine. So I'll call them about, okay, well, what would your suggestion be on this hotel?
Yeah.
What about adding this transfer? I might be a little bit confused on that, especially port transfers and things. Accounts, just making sure that accounts are they are always all over it, but just making sure if I get a payment reminder that they're all over it as well.
Yeah.
And most of the time they are. So I think in 5 years, I think there's only been 2 payments missed, which is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. It's I suppose in terms of being a business owner as well, knowing that you've got that account side of things taken out of your hands just frees up time to do what you need to do, and that's
it. And when you asked before what was the thing that pushed me towards Travel Counsellors, I look at it as somebody I don't have to pay. So that's what I mean. The 40-60 split didn't come into it because, I don't have to pay for the accounts girls who I've got there. I don't have to pay on the chase-ups, which the UK do.
Yeah.
I don't have, and so it's somebody I don't have to pay, and like as in an employee. I'm good at selling holidays. That's what I do. That's why I'm a travel agent. I don't want all the nitty-gritty that comes along with it, which is what you guys look after.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean by how you're utilising the services here. That's how we're designed to be used, and we've got the support network there. So pick up the phone, use us. We're an extension of your business, almost like an outsourced function. We're not sitting in your office at home with you, but we're as much a part of your business as anybody else would be in sort of an agency setting. So that's awesome. I suppose I'd love to have a little bit of a chat with you about earning potential. So I know, we touched on the fact that you're on a salary before, and obviously we don't need to have a chat about figures or anything like that, but I suppose in terms of even some percentage or an indication of kind of what you were earning previously versus what you've been able to do, or what your colleagues have been able to do with Travel Counsellors. Can you give the guys an idea at home of what's kind of a realistic thing for them to look at?
Well, as far as realistic, I look at my business as realistic because, as I said, I come with nobody. I come with nothing. I had to start from scratch. So I think my story is realistic. I've gone from having a $26,000 a year salary up to, I've pretty much gone up to about by $100,000. So I'm more than happy. As I said, it's been the best decision I've ever made. So the earning potential is huge, and people can do so much better than I can do, which is realistic for them as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I suppose on that too, something we spoke about when I was down there with you, it was just the lifestyle it's enabled you to have with your family. Tell me a little bit about kind of how things operate for you on a day-to-day level with your family now, how it's impacted that.
Okay, so I'm pretty lucky. Really, I do work very hard, as most of us do. But my day is very much structured with. So 7:30 in the morning I normally start. I help my wife get I normally do about an hour's work, get the kids off to school, then pick them up at 3. I don't make any appointments between 3 and 7 o'clock, and then I've got the time either with the kids or working, and then I normally do after hours appointments from 7 onwards. That's just me. That's how I've structured it, and that's how it works in my life. But then I don't have to get permission to take a day off here and there to spend time with the kids and school holidays at the moment. I can take the day off if I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Yeah, awesome. So have you had any advice for anyone considering working for themselves and having a look at Travel Counsellors? What do you think you'd say to them?
Sorry, that just broke up there.
Oh, sorry. If you had any sort of words of wisdom or advice for anyone who's looking at starting their home-based model, and particularly with Travel Counsellors, what would you say to them?
I would say just jump in and do it. It's a big risk, as anybody knows, and it is handy having somebody. Like, I was lucky enough that my wife was working as well, and so we had. You do need a little bit of money behind you at the start, which we weren't. Neither of us were on great wages, but at least we had that constant income of my wife. Because the first few months it is hard, and it's going to be hard, but then you do start reaping the rewards later on, for sure. And if I would do it again, I would 100% do it again.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Matt, for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you've got a really busy day ahead, and you've got some girls in the background as well who are probably wanting some dad time, so I really appreciate it. And look, if anyone would like to have a chat with Matt or find out a little bit more about Travel Counsellors, don't hesitate to get back in touch with us.
Wow, good interview, Kat. Yeah, well done. And Matt's always fun to talk to, but he's also very honest, Matt, isn't he? Like, what he says is is the truth, is the fact. There's no holes barred, and that's why I think we all love working with him, and I guess working for him in that aspect as well. So we all wanted to come back on and just wrap up some of the things that we have spoken about throughout the webinar. But me being me, of course, was watching Tom go through the Phoenix comparisons, and there was a couple of things that really hit home with me. So I just wanted to go back over one of those slides, if we can, please, Rob. So this one was the Western in Fiji, and I think I've chosen this one because I've been there myself. I guess supplier A, I just want to make sure that we got this 100% clear, because I think this is a really, really important fact, and something that we quite often get asked about when we're talking about commission splits, when we're talking to potential agents who are looking to join our business. They hear 60-40 and they go, why would I do that? Now this is an example, or one of the examples, which is monetary, that 60% of a larger number is more than 70 or 80% of a smaller number. Now supplier A, we're not going to name them, but it will be the suppliers that you would be booking with in a current agency. And they would be giving you, 10% commission, or in this case slightly less, or slightly less because it's been packaged with flights, which would be at a lower margin as well. So your $423 commission in your current agency is, you're probably thinking that's pretty good, but in Phoenix you can get $1,059 commission on the same booking. Your client's paying the same price, which I just think is absolutely phenomenal. Every time I see figures like that, it really makes me appreciate how amazing Phoenix is and how great the technology is. And then we go to the, okay, but I'm giving you 40%. Now, we've also spoken about the fact that you're not giving us 40%. You get a lot of support for that 40%. But what it also demonstrates is that even though 40% of your commission is being invested back into your business in lots of different ways with Travel Counsellors, you're still taking away more cash as a bottom line. That is one of the hardest things for us to kind of reiterate or get across. And I think that is a really, really great example of exactly what Phoenix can do for you in terms of money. Phoenix does a lot of other stuff for you in terms of time and ease, product, all of that kind of stuff. But when we're talking dollars, which is exactly what we're doing this month, that is a really, really great demonstration of how that works. Yeah. Black and white, exactly. Now, Kat, I think you wanted to just take us through, I guess, some salaries.
Yeah, some potential earnings, I guess. So we'll just bring up the next slide, if that's okay. Perfect. So what I've basically done here is run a few hypotheticals for you in terms of what it's going to look like for you when you break it down, and what you're going to take home in commissions after that 60-40 split. When you're looking at some sales some sales figures in terms of what you're turning over per annum per month. So really simple. We're the first one here I've got rounded down to what would be considered pretty average margin here at Travel Counsellors of 13%. We've got 750 million, 1.5 and 2 million in gross sales, so that is your total sales for the year. And then the final column there, take home commissions, is what you would get paid out to your business after the 60-40 split. So on 750,000 in gross sales per annum, you'd be looking at 58,500 take home. At 1 million, you're looking at 78,000. 1.5, looking at 117,000, and when you hit the 2 million mark, you're looking at 156,000. And then the next slide over. Jump to the next one.
Oh, yep.
Is 15. So we've run through the same scenario with the same figures. We've just changed the margin figure there. So we're looking at 67,500, 90, 135,000, heading up to 180,000 when you get in 2 million as a 15% average, and then heading up to another scenario there of 18% as an average annual margin on your gross sales. So we're looking at 81,000 for the same 750. 1 million, you're looking at 108,000, 1.5, 162,000, and tipping over at 216,000 on 2 million when you're at an 18% margin. So just a few scenarios there when you're talking figures and numbers, and basically, what's a potential for you if you're working under our model?
Yeah, it is, and I guess we say 13, 15, 18, and there's probably agents out there saying, how do you do that? Like, how do you change the percentage? The answer is Phoenix. We do work on net rates. You do control your own margin over your entire file, and you can earn what you're worth, what your time is worth, what your service is worth, and still be very competitive in the market for the product that you're selling. So and it is funny the difference. What we quite often think 3%. Oh, that's not much. It's it's a credit card transaction fee in some instances, but 3% means a lot to the bottom line when you're running your own business. So it's about being savvy and smart as well. But still being able to have the flexibility to do what you need to do with your margin to make sure that you still get the booking as well. So lots and lots in this episode, wasn't there? Yeah, it was, but a good one, I think, and one that I hope has answered some questions and maybe even piqued some more in the minds of those watching. So if anyone does want to talk to any of us, we are still here. We forgot to give the number before. It's 1300 889 123. So we'll still be available for probably the next hour or so. Or if you prefer, you can email through at connect@travelcounsellors.com. And those numbers and that email are always live, so you can always call them to get in contact with one of us at any stage.
Fantastic. I think as well, to encourage people, if they are interested, we're really proud of Phoenix and we want to be able to demonstrate that to you as well. So it's something that we do regularly, is do a Phoenix demonstration with any people that are interested more in terms of what Phoenix does, how it looks and how it can impact your day-to-day business as well if you become a travel counsellor. So definitely encourage anybody that wants to see that side to give us a call and we can show that to you.
And on that too, evenings, guys, we're aware that you're busy and you're working full time in a lot of cases as well, so we're often running demonstrations in the evening. So if you are keen to have a look at the product in a bit more detail, and by product I mean Phoenix, give us a call, pop us through an email and we can run you through some live figures together.
Brilliant. And just, I guess, something else, our next webinar, which will be in August, is going to be about the team. So we're going to introduce you to all of the support team that work behind the scenes here for your business, and we'll introduce you to some of the international ones as well. But just to give you a really good feel for what you do get for that 40% and how you can utilise it as well, moving on from the earnings. We won't be having a webinar, guys, but if you are watching our website next week, there will be another video that's going to go live about our Return to Travel program, which we launched a few weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago now, and our first Return to Travel induction will be in August. So if we've got people who are watching who are interested in coming through that stream rather than through our normal leisure or corporate streams, please keep an eye on our webinar and our social media pages to be able to see that video, which will talk you through the Return to Travel program as well. But thank you for watching. We hope you've got a lot out of this, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Thanks. Yeah, bye.